I just got a call from a health provider. Actually, all of Mississippi was hit with a cyber attack when it comes to the biggest hospital and medical centers across this state. What does that mean? They sent out this warning. It was like a little, operated message stating that, the apps that you use, the clinics that you go to, all the things that they're using is now compromised or down. So what's next? This is what I've been dreading, because these are the kind of calls we're going to get when all of a sudden our whole money system is online, when our whole biometrics and healthcare is online, when everything that we do is completely online. It's risky. We're going to discuss that story. Also, we're going to talk about how the Ayatollah believes he will not make it through these strikes. Now, why am I saying that? Well, because there's proven CIA whistleblower stating that it's going to take place this weekend or Monday or Tuesday. So it's Sunday now, so we've not had it Saturday. The big ship arrived yesterday, so are we looking at it truly what this whistleblower stated? But not only that, there has been a insider through Iran stating that the Ayatollah is trying to get commands when he dies, when he perishes. He's setting up command, and he's told all his generals to do the same. Are they expecting all-out war? It's weird that we're even talking about this, and what is the plan for China? Wait till you hear what China stated if we do go into Iran. This is why I tell you prepare, because it's just going to get very, very real. And then lastly, we're going to discuss our food and our health along with Christianity. You know what I've learned is that when you have an independent, self-sustainable family that is focused on the family and morals and values, that is the biggest threat to any government that's wanting dependency. It's also a threat to all the biggest players across the world. So how does this all go together? Well, we have a broken food system. We have government pushing against Christianity. And the one thing that we're all trying to fight for is a moral valued based family living on good quality food. And that's the one things that they try to regulate out, such as milk, honey, meat. Isn't it amazing? We're going to talk about all this today. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new, please go down here, press subscribe. It means the world to us and helps us spread our message across this platform. Now, the other day I did give a winner. I did not announce in the video. I actually forgot to announce in the video, but it was put into the comments, I think on Friday's video. So that winner has not reached out to me. So please go check out the winner of that video, so that way we can get that pack sent out. And so that way you'll get some things to say thank you for watching us. Also, a lot of people ask about our soap and things like that. We're fixing to have a Spotify store set up. We do sell our soap, but we usually have to mail it to you, which tends to cost a little bit more. You can reach out to us via email if you choose to buy some of the soap, but we're going to try to set up a Shopify account, so that way you'll be able to access it a little bit easier than just emailing us. But feel free to email us and we can work out some situations with you when it comes to soap. Now let's jump into the stories today, because that's why you're here. First, let's talk about the situation with the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah came out with I guess an insider, because this is how it's leaked to the media. Now, this is from Marno Fall. It says, Iran's supreme leader isn't just prepping for the U.S. strike, he's actually prepping for the own possible demise of himself in the U.S. strike. Now, he knows he's the reason that the U.S. is even talking like this. I don't understand why he wants to just, stand on this ground and let it happen. I think that's the religious part of him that is thinking he's going to be in, heaven with all these women and all that. It's just kind of strange what they believe, but I think that's what he's banking on. And remember, in a lot of Islamic faith, they believe that more chaos brings in their Christ, which is the Antichrist, what we would say. So this all plays into them when it comes to spiritual battles. But let's keep on going. It says, behind the scenes, Khomeini has been quietly running a world's bleakest HR department, assigning back-up dictators and then backup dictators to those dictators. And even in the case of vaporizing all of them, he's even got some people that could be dictators on top of that. He's literally told every top official to name 4 replacements in running the parts of the government that they run when it comes to the Islamic Republic. It says that while he's at it and planning to hopefully look strong, he knows that his time will be coming to an end. According to 6 senior officials and the Guard's members, Mr. Khomeini has issued a series of directives he has named He has said name 4 layers of succession for even the military command leaders for government roles, so they can have personally be appointed by the Islamic Republic of Iran. So they kind of keep that power. That's what they're trying to do. So it's crazy that we're even in this spot. Now, a whistleblower came out and stated, this is John Kirko, and now I'll be honest with you, I don't like a lot of things that John Kirko says. I do believe he was knowledgeable in some facets, but I do believe he looks at everything in a biased way. But I want you to listen to what he says. The CIA whistleblower says that he has a source in the White House that told him that President Trump has decided to engage on Monday, Tuesday. Now, if you remember, the first story that we got was Saturday, Sunday, based on the Gerald Ford getting there. Well, the Gerald Ford was late getting there, or it didn't get there until basically late Friday, early Saturday. So have they pushed this off? Is this really going to happen? Or is this all just propaganda? Are they leaking it on purpose to make Khomeini and all of them make an arrangement? Now, while we're trying to fish for leverage here and hoping that this won't go out to all-out war, I want you to listen to this. This is actually from China. China comes in and states, I mean, this is a pretty brash warning. It says, China warns the United States, if you want war, you will get war. If you want to try to destroy China and its counterparts, you will be destroyed. Listen to that now. You will be destroyed. China will not fire first, but China will not allow you to fire a second shot. That was from the president of Chinese Energy Security Institute, Victor Gao, who is a spokesman for the Chinese military. So they've got a lot of propaganda going that way too. So, a lot of things are going on the international front. That's very dangerous. That's scary because it could involve, a world war. It could involve troops on the ground. It could involve more of our vulnerabilities to be exposed. Now again, remember, I told you the last 2 days how dangerous it is because our focus has been overseas and not at home. While at home, let's go over some things. While we've been distracted with all that, this is where I want to get into 2 stories. The one that I was talking about being dread, and this call I got was dealing with medical things that I need, not me personally, but my son. It's been going through some type 1 diabetic situation and this diagnosis. And don't get me wrong, we have fought it and had a great situation and great prognosis lately, and we'll talk about that on another day. But the call that we got was, look, everything's been compromised. So, while our focus is overseas, how strong is our grid and our infrastructure when it comes to the safety? Our government and biggest players are wanting to put everything on blockchain, everything on the internet. The other day, I wanted to get a record for one of my children. I sent it to us so that way we had it and had it in a paper form. They're like, look, sir, we don't do paper documents anymore. You're going to have to go online, sign into your registration, and then send it to you via secured message. Well, I don't believe anything's secure, and I believe everything is known. We know that with AI and with all the things that's going on now. But it's amazing to me how everybody wants our life put on virtual forms, and the whole time I'm wondering, how vulnerable is it going to make us? Now, I don't know if you watch movies. I love movies, and we watch them on VidAngel. So again, we can watch a movie that has PG-13 or R on VidAngel, and it takes all that junk out, all the cursing out, and all that. But I digress. I've been watching a lot of movies, like dystopian movies, of course, Hunger Games, all that we've watched before. But if you watch the Running Man, it was kind of a stupid movie. It's kind of like Ready Player One. It's like they're living in this virtual reality. They play in this game, but ultimately, if you watch it, it shows how the guy was trying to tell the story, and ultimately every time he tried to tell the story, AI or the computer system would change what he was saying, and it made it look like he was a bad guy instead of a good guy. Now, the purpose of why I'm saying that is everything that we're putting online is going to be vulnerable in that facet. No matter how we want to try to quote-unquote protect it, why are we wanting to build this? If we're allowed to put it on a database, that means someone had access to know how to build the database. That means someone probably has access to know how to hack the database. And what I think we're doing is we're putting ourselves in a bad situation. I want to read this that actually came out. We got a call, and then we got this email. It says, due to a cybersecurity hack, and this is from University of Mississippi Medical Center. You can go ahead and look up all their clinics across Mississippi. It says, many UMC IT systems are down, including access to electronic medical records. So that means you're not able to get your own data because now someone else owns it. Have you ever thought how crazy it is that you can't buy a movie anymore? You can't buy things anymore. You can't buy things and have at home. You have to have subscriptions. You know, if it comes to we have a subscription to this app. We have a subscription to Netflix. We have a subscription to this movie. If you do buy a movie, it's really like renting it because you're buying the movie to watch it. And yes, it's always on your phone, but if you let that subscription go, the movie goes. It's not a physical movie anymore. See how programmed we already are? That we don't need to hold something tangible. We just believe it's all okay to be virtual. Well, here you go. It says you cannot access any of your medical records at this time. Today, all UMC clinics are closed statewide. They will remain closed probably for the foreseeable day or two. Outpatient and ambulatory surgeries, procedures, and imaging reports are canceled. So that means you can't get any surgeries, outpatient, or things that were scheduled. They're saying the only thing they're actually doing is emergent care because they cannot do the other because they do not have access to their own IT and procedures that they need to operate. It says, we apologize for this unexpected disruption and we will guide you with further information. Now, luckily, we're not in that boat where that matters too much because we're not in a life-threatening situation. But you know, there's a big storm coming in New York City. Side note, did you know Ma'am Donnie asked for 2 forms of verification so they could shovel snow, by the way? It's funny how he doesn't want voter ID, but you have to have 2 forms of identification to shovel snow, by the way. But I digress. But if you notice, they said the grid could be very vulnerable in New York City this week because it's blizzard. So they're actually telling people to stockpile and prepare. Same thing with Texas, with this cold snap that came through the other day. They said the ice warning, danger for the grid. Now we have these issues with cybersecurity. While our focus and our billions of dollars is being sent across overseas to the Middle East, which I'm not saying is not important, but I'm saying it's not the most important thing right now, we're having cyber attacks and grid problems over here in America, along with the fact that our government and our biggest players are telling us to put more of it on the grid and on virtual, digitized forms. They're literally trying to push the dollar out and put it on cryptos or put it on stable coins. If any of these databases can be hacked, if you remember, there's been times where there has been hacks to crypto sites. There's been hacks to blockchains. They've seized money off the blockchain, the government has. So you tell me there's no way to get this access to things that makes us vulnerable? What if you can't get your medical records? What if something's real serious and you need to know, and all of a sudden you don't even know your own blood type because you were hoping to have medical records and you can't even access them? You see how important this is? This is a big issue. Also, while we were distracted with everything going on, listen to this story. And this again, we see the battle, the very much battle of the family. This came out just today. It says, our food is being poisoned in America. There are 98 ingredients in America's #1 frozen breakfast sandwich. It says for the average American, there is more than 12 to 50 forms of different chemicals that are absolutely bad for us going in our food at any given time. This is the same stuff that we use for embalming fluid, the same stuff that we use to make rubber mats, the same stuff that we use to put in our car is also in this modified food that we're eating. It says what this is doing is actually making men not men anymore. And they're saying because it's so soy packed and so much garbage food and so much GMO modified food that it's actually causing men to not be able to be fertile and not actually perform and have testosterone levels at places it should be. It says what we've realized is even the 53% of all foods that is in boxed is actually got carcinogenic agents in it, at least 2. So therefore, the majority of your food at the supermarket is literally making you sick. Now, we just talked about the danger of the family. You see the fact that, okay, all our stuff is now, they're wanting to take that independence away, so put everything digital. Now we see their food system is broke. We know that. Now, we have raw milk. We provide raw milk to our family. We milk cows every morning. I have a bee apiary, so I get honey. I grow all my own food. Did you know for me to sell any of those things, such as dairy products or honey or anything raw off our farm, I have to get so many different permits? It's amazing that in its natural form has to have some kind of regulatory body or permits to tell me that I can do it and sell to another adult. However, they can sell you this carcinogenic agents just because they have billions of dollars going behind it to FDA and to lawmakers. Now, here's the thing though. If everything's on the blockchain, everything's digital, I may can sell some honey, some milk, some eggs, because I'm doing it cash. What happens when cash is gone? The independence is gone because they know what you're buying at that point. I have people come sometimes to my farm and they'll say, "Can I cash app you?" And I'm like, "Nope, don't have it." "Can we PayPal you?" "Nope, not doing it." See, it's already getting programmed in our mind. "Well, that's the easiest way of currency, isn't it?" I'm like, "No, cash only." Because that transaction between me and that person, not everybody and their mama. See, that's where we're at. The independence is slowly leaving us. Did you realize that the majority of the food that you're purchasing, especially if it's in a box, it says has carcinogenic agents in it, has fluids for embalming in it? Is that really what we want? Have you ever read the back of a bread recipe? We make our own bread here. Made a loaf this morning, and I put 4 things in it. 4, maybe 5 if I want it sweet, or if I want it garlicky or something like that. I'll put honey or put garlic in it. But ultimately, it's 4 ingredients. Go on the back of any bread, and even the ones that say organic, they're all bought up by the same company. Same company owns all of them. So go and look at the back of the ingredients of these things. It's mind-blowing. You can't understand half the stuff that's in there. And if you actually started AI and all those and saying, what is this, what is this, what is this, it would actually make you sick to your stomach that you're putting that in your body and putting in your children's body. That's probably why we need the health care, by the way, because we are so sick of all this stuff. Now let's move to another serious story, because this is Sunday and I hope you took your family to church. While we've been distracted, I'm trying to keep on the same theme of our focus has been on the fact that we're fixing to go to war or strikes or some situation that, again, not that I don't trust Trump. I hope that if he does do strikes, he strikes, comes back home, and let's get back to work. But listen, this is what we don't want to miss. Now, you know, we've been doing the studies of and showing you how Muslims have taken over during Ramadan, during the festivities at New York City, where they literally shut down the whole Times Square. You couldn't do that in Christians couldn't do that at all. Has been arrests done for people trying to do those things on the streets. I want you to listen to these 2 reports. Breaking. This is from Susan Rice. Susan Rice is used to be Obama's NSA, National Security Advisor, big player in Netflix, big player in the Democratic Party. I want you to listen to what she stated. She says, once the power is back to us, the pendulum is going to swing. And it's going to swing so far that they better watch what they're doing right now. Open threats, and basically she was calling for conservative white men. That's what she was actually aiming that as. She was saying that we're coming after you, especially when we get back in power. Well, my gosh, they're going to get back in power because, I mean, our Republicans are not doing anything. Did you see the Texas numbers that just came out? Texas is getting whopping amounts of numbers of Democrats sign up. Well, we've not passed a voter ID pass actually a law from John Thune and from Mike Johnson. So they're flooding Texas because what they're going to do is end up flipping a lot of Texas to purple or to blue, all because we're choosing not to protect our elections. And she says, when we get back in power, it's literally going to be Hades to pay for the conservatives, for the whites, for the Christians, for those groups of individuals that were so tied to Donald Trump. I want you to listen to this. This is actually from Wall Street Apes. It says, a rare day just happened in Lent, where the Chinese Lunar New Year, the Ramadan, and also happened to fall on the same day since 1863. So basically, Lent, which is kind of a Catholic Christian holiday, our start of the Easter season, the Chinese Lunar New Year, and Ramadan. Since 1863, it's not happened, but listen to what happened. Oregon Democratic Governor Tina Kotek made several posts celebrating Ramadan. There's only 40,000 Muslims in Oregon, which is too many, but I digress. Celebrating Chinese Lunar New Year. There's 60,000 Chinese in Oregon. So she's done post on Ramadan, on the Chinese New Year. Listen, no post was done for Christians or Catholics on Lent. There's over 450,000 Catholics in Oregon alone. And yet, no idea and no care for Christianity. If you notice, Google during Ramadan, during the Holy New Year of all this other religions, during the Indian week, during all this stuff, they will change their logos to represent that group of individuals other than Easter. For Christmas, what they'll do is they'll put a Christmas tree up. Won't do anything about the birth of Christ. This lady that was just being interviewed, she said, what this is showing is the left is inclusive to nothing but who they believe in, and they're exclusive in destroying one religion, and that's Christianity, the conservative white male. This is happening right before our very eyes. This governor who celebrates everything but Christianity. Susan Rice, who says everything is going to change when we come in leadership and we're going after them. Does that make you feel better? No, it doesn't, does it? See, Our focus is overseas. And I'm not saying it's not legitimate or there's not a reason we shouldn't. That's for someone else to decide, for you to decide actually. But while our focus is there, look what's happening here. Cyber attacks on statewide medical industries that has literally shut down operations. We have the fact that we're pushing for more crypto instead of cash. We're targeting our food system to make us more sick, and then all of a sudden we're sick and we're dependent on a healthcare system that is broken. And then on top of that, we have people pushing against the Christian movement. So let's go back to the family. What makes a family strong is having good morals and values, having a good leader of the home, the father, independence and sustainability. A strong leader is the father and the mother and the homes, and a strong marriage makes for a better family, which makes for a better community. All these things today pretty much destroy the family, while our focus is on Iran. It's unbelievable. Let me know your thoughts on today's video. I just don't understand where we're at in our nation, and I get very upset with the Republicans that won't even pass a voter ID law. I mean, they won't even pass the law to protect our elections. Shady. Guys, let me know what you're thinking on today's video. We hope that you took your family to church. We're praying for our nation. Pray for our nation. It needs it. God bless.